Hello and what is going on, guys? Today I am going to take the political compass test. I know that many of you people have probably done this before, though I'm going to explain it what it is either way. And we're going to find out, am I a true libertarian socialist or am I a scammer? Well, it is time to find out, everybody. But first, let's talk about the political compass test. This test usually lands people on the left-leaning bias. I guess it's because of the questions, and they can sometimes be very provocative towards right-wing people. So yeah, I'm saying that if you fall on the right side of the axis, you're a Nazi, basically. Not really, just kidding. But anyways, it's pretty easy to fall on the left side, but we'll see if I actually fall into the right category. We've got here an explanation. Now, this one obviously isn't perfect either way. Neither of these two are perfect, okay? But we will see whether I will fall within the libertarian socialism category or if I won't. Maybe I'll even not even be in the green category, who knows? But let's take the test and I will explain what my reasoning is for, well, I guess every question. So, if economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. Absolutely. I am extremely much more for humanity. Obviously, I think that's way more worker friendly. It's way more friendly towards the majority of people. I'm not talking, I don't like the, well, own, I mean, otherwise, if it serves transnational corporations, it's in the end only going to serve a billionaire elite class and everyone else is just going to have it way worse. Okay, I don't really support my country. Wait, I clicked it wrong there. Sorry, don't panic, guys. Don't panic. Okay, yeah, I would not always support my country. My country could be in the wrong in something. How it really my country doesn't matter that much to me. So yeah, Swedes, I would totally throw my country away if it means we can get a socialist. If I could get to a socialist country, now I don't know. I may not move that easily. Anyways, let's go on. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Absolutely, you don't. I thought of this as much as a kid actually when I was like 5. Like, I'm so lucky being born in the West. What if I was born in a country that didn't have these rights, these human rights? It's quite horrible. So yeah, absolutely it's foolish to be proud of it. Nobody chooses that shit. Obviously, I'm not a racist. This one is for debating the Nazis, I guess. We know of those. I may also answer wrong on one question, but I don't think it should. Like, sometimes I mess it up in my head, but you guys will know what I mean. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. No. But I wouldn't strongly disagree. This one is a little bit difficult because I think it's very situational and therefore it's very tough to determine what kind of situation we're thinking of, but say I'm anti-capitalist doesn't mean that I am pro-China and they're like sort of they want to call it communism. It's not communism. It's a lie. But the thing is, I'm not willing to back down on my values just because, yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm not willing to back down on my values. They may not be my friend just because they're the enemy of my enemy. That's what I meant. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. No, because I think this will primarily be serving Western countries with military intervention in, well, countries all over the world, but either it would serve a totalitarian dictatorship or a Western democracy, and usually like Iraq War, Afghanistan War, that's not good things. That didn't help those countries. It didn't help our countries. It only made the world worse, right? And I may even go strongly this year. I'm not an expert on international law, but I do believe it's say that we'll say just for this case that international law is very, let's say it's very thought out and it's very good, right? Then military action that defies it would never be justified, in my opinion. There's now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. Absolutely. Look at Fox News. Now the economy. We're talking about attitudes here, not the FTSE index. Okay. People are ultimately more divided by class than nationality. Absolutely true. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. No, because I think that controlling inflation is often like a right-wing hoax that is used to say, well, we're just the guys who know the economy. I mean, in truth, the right doesn't aren't that good at the economy, right? But they always get that thing because of the controlling inflation rather than unemployment. But unemployment is very important to control. If when you stop controlling unemployment, you will get massive decreases in standard of living all over the country. Whilst controlling inflation is also very crucial, the right wing parties aren't particularly good at that either. But I think that unemployment is more important. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulations. Absolutely. And it's actually the socialists who have to call them out for this. That's our duty. Because we are going to be, if we challenge the capital, then they will have to react to that. And in return, they might actually move towards a more environmentally friendly policy instead of using coal. Because if we call them out and say these guys use coal and they're destroying the earth, people will all of a sudden join us. And then to counteract that, they will have to move to environment friendly. So then we did a good thing, right? We did a good thing. Remember that. From each according to each according is a fundamentally good idea. Absolutely. This is basically socialism in a nutshell. The free market, free people, absolutely not. A free market is not necessary for free people. In fact, a free market usually just leads to exploitation, and it can be within your country or within other countries. I mean, we may have a super free market economy all over the world, but that's just going to mean that more African children are going to have to work in mines, you know? If you regulate the companies and say, well, you cannot employ children to work in the mines, then all of a sudden, the more free people, because these children don't have to work in like in horrible conditions, right? They get to be free, go to school, whatever. There we go. It's a sad reflection on our society that drink is now a bold branded consumer product. I guess, yeah. I mean, this is basically mostly talking about capitalism, is what I'm thinking. But on the other hand, I mean, we do have to have products, and things aren't free in this world of capitalism. Water should be free, in my opinion. It definitely should be free, but sadly, it isn't free. And we're just gonna have to work. If we give everything away for free, that means this is kind of where you'll see me contest with some of the communists, right? If we give everything away for free, then all of a sudden, how will the economy even function? You know? That's why I'm a little bit skeptical of that. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Absolutely. Why should some people get to own all the land? This is like feudalism almost. Like the land, in my opinion, should be owned by the state, and the state should own it responsibly and not do a bunch of sellouts. Because when you see the higher, I think, amount of privatized land, the more landlords you get, and obviously lefties don't like landlords for good reasons, but I'm not going to get into that because that is complicated. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to society. Absolutely. This happens all the time. And this is the whole, oh, well, the rich just worked to get there. No, they didn't. It can be disproven by facts. So many young people believe this, and I get so frustrated. These people, all they do is know how to manipulate people. Oftentimes, they get into their positions of power because they're good at manipulating workers or, well, good at working workers to death, really. That brings them profit. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. I think, actually, yes. Now, I am an internationalist, so I do believe global trade is a good thing, but global trade is only a good thing in a socialist-esque society, right? In a capitalist society, oftentimes this can lead to exploitation. So the countries who are being exploited, if they start with more protectionism, then that would lead to obviously it would lead to less exploitation in their countries. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. The social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. No, absolutely not. I mean, if I as a market socialist would say that social responsibility of a company should be to really employ people, right, and pay out money so people can live happier, so people can have a good wage, right? I believe that companies have also got more responsibilities than that. They also need to not exploit their workers, right? Even in a socialist economy, workers cannot be exploited because that gives more money to the workers, right? We need to have a balance. We need to find a good balance, and that's why there's more social responsibilities than only profit. Rich are too highly taxed. Never. The rich are way too low taxed. And we need to have corporate taxes. We need to have taxes on, oh my gosh, I don't know this word in English, but anyways, you need to have on funds, yeah, on funds and stuff like that. We need to tax more broadly, but also we need to be more strict with the taxes because these guys are always running away from the taxes. They always got those damn lawyers, and then it goes to court and things. I don't want to get into that, but yes, the rich are definitely not too highly taxed. I strongly disagree with the rich are too highly taxed. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. How is that fair? Those people with the ability to pay usually haven't even worked harder to get there, as I already explained earlier. But even in the middle class, if you're talking the middle class, no, the middle class should not have rights to better healthcare than the lower class. Everyone should have equal rights to healthcare, and that's why I support a fully state-controlled healthcare. Government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Yes, absolutely. Because really, businesses do this all the time. They mislead the public all the time. That is basically what they do. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of. Yes, I do not believe in monopolies, but a genuine free market. I mean, let's be real here. A genuine free market that is actually good for the people cannot be established under capitalism. Now let's take a look at personal social values. Okay, now let's talk about something I'm a little bit more, let's say, uncomfortable with. I think I am a little bit less left-leaning. I'm not very radical on social values, okay? But I would still definitely lean progressive, for sure. So let's see where we get on these questions, right? Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. No, there are many other reasons why you should take an abortion, in my opinion. But I don't think you should do unnecessary abortion. I think that is an unnecessary harm, in my opinion. All authority should be questioned. Yes, for the most part. I mean, I think there's good authority, but yes, for the most part, all authority should be questioned. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. No, this is not a good way to serve criminal justice. This is not the way you do it. It's scientifically proven everywhere. Criminals can be atoned for. It is true. Although I am sometimes I fall into this because I get really pissed at just the fact that somebody murdered 25 people and then 10 years later they can go free. That's kind of bullshit. But most of these people who mass murder people are right wingers anyways, so yeah, that's funny, right? Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters and museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. I'm trying to disagree. These can be very, very important, and especially for people who don't. I mean, if you've got free museums and theaters or cheap ones, then that gives more availability for people with less money to attend these things. Otherwise, this would only be an. Now, the thing is with theaters, museums is more educational, and I think it's more broad in its appeal, while theaters are more uh, tend to appear to appeal more to the upper class. And obviously, I do not support if there's only upper class people going to the theater, then no shit, I don't want taxpayers to be paying money for that. But As long as we can see that it's a broad amount of people who go there, then that's totally fine. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. I strongly disagree with this. And this is basically based mostly on my personal experiences. I think that classroom attendance should be compulsory because a lot of people otherwise can fall into dangerous places where they get very lonely or well, really there's a lot of things that can happen, but I think that it should be compulsory. And also a lot of the things education usually can, lack of education can often result in far in that you become a far right person. And that is very, very bad, obviously. All people have their rights, but it's better for all of us, the different sort of people should keep to their own kind. No, because I believe that in multiculturalism, that we can intermingle with each other and it will be, nothing will change. It will be just fine. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. No. I'm sorry, Republicans who love doing that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think you should spank your children. It's natural for children to sometimes keep secrets from their parents. Okay, let me just ask, how has this got anything to do with politics, anyways? But okay, okay. Apart from that, I think that yeah, children usually can keep secrets from their parents. I don't know. I'm a very honest person, so that doesn't really fit in very well on me. But I guess possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. I mean, this is a very tough one. I am not very good at drugs. Let me just say yes. I think that, well, if you only use it yourself, and as long as you buy it legally, I think it's okay. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. Absolutely. That is the primary function of schooling. But simultaneously, there are other things that schooling should do. It should equip people to be, well, able to vote in a democracy. It is supposed to give a basic understanding of the world and how it works, in my opinion. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. No, I don't believe so. Even though it's a little bit hard to say because I feel bad for the children who get born with severe inheritable disabilities, but still, you shouldn't limit people. This is limiting freedom. And as a libertarian, even though I'm a lefty libertarian, right, I do not believe that you should limit people like this. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. No, because this really gives me like dangerous old school, like the old schooling system vibes where teachers can hit children and whatever. I do believe sometimes discipline can help when you've got schooling environments like in my home country, but I believe that too much discipline, which I feel like this implies, would result in very bad things. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. Well, let's see here. There are no I do not believe that there are any savage and civilized people. I think it's about different cultures. I strongly agree with this. I think, however, that since some cultures or some people haven't got access to the same amount of educational and welfare and whatever standards, I mean, if you live in, I'm not saying, okay, let's think about this. I think that if you live in the middle of a city, you're probably a little bit more civilized than if you live on the savannah and you're hunting deer, right? But I only think that's based on the conditions of the human, right? It's not based on something like that you're born with being savage, right? I don't believe in that. Let's go to the next one. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Those, I mean, this one is a little bit difficult because we need people to work, right? But simultaneously, you need to have basic support either way, and I feel like this question would it would result in a lot of harm if you would not provide anything for these people. When in trouble, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with cheerful things. Yeah, I guess still what it's got to do with politics. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated with their country. No, but I think that it just proves sometimes that, well, if you get to the country well when you're younger, you will be better. You'll be able to speak the language better. But I think that anyone can learn, and really, I think that anyone can be fully integrated into their country. Absolutely, I believe so. Because if these people, I mean, you have to strive harder. Like, I'm not obviously you people who migrate to a country to a new country have to strive a little bit to be able to get integrated into a new country. But I believe that those who do that absolutely can be fully integrated. But first generation immigrants, I think that they do not always get integrated, but I think most of them do because I think most of them strive for it. What's good for the most successful corporations? Always no, no, never, never, never. Again, billionaire idiots. No broadcasting institution, however independent in its content, should receive public funding. No, because if we have a broadcasting institution that tries to base itself on objectivity and the facts, then we've got less misinformed people, which helps society overall. Let's see. And how you see the wider society. Our civil liberties are being curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Well, it depends on the terrorism, I guess, but in some way, yes. But it really depends on the country. I'm not gonna get into that. Really, I'm gonna be honest here. I haven't experienced much counterterrorism myself, right? So I would have to be in a place where it's more relevant for sure to be able to answer that question better. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it is void of no. I mean, yes, delay is a problem, but a one-party state is in all ways basically worse, right? So I can't believe this, and it's complicated. Maybe I'll make a video on why one-party states are bad, and I will call out all the tankies and they will rage, but that's funny, so it's okay. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. I think that this could be bad for anyone. I think that surveillance can be bad for people. And I think that it's not only wrongdoers who should be worried. Actually, I absolutely don't think so because people could track me. What if some stupid fascist government comes in power, eh? And I'm a socialist. I'm gonna be like standing head to the wall and get shot in the neck if they track what I'm doing. So definitely everyone needs to be at least somewhat worried about it. Death penalty should be an option for the most serious crime. No, I don't think the death penalty solves many things. And if you've done a very serious crime, then I think that you can be in jail for a long time, and maybe you can have like a maybe a more worker maybe the jail system could have some kind of work, but not slave labor, so you actually get a little bit of pay and can live a little bit of a life. But if you're a really dangerous criminal, I obviously don't really want you back in society. And I think that in some countries like Sweden, it can be very easy to get out. But yeah, whatever. That's not on the topic. In the civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. No, it is definitely not how it works. I mean, this is really a very authoritarian style question. I do not believe this whatsoever. Abstract art doesn't represent anything should be considered art at all. I don't really care about art, to be honest. I mean, I guess yes, no, probably no. Ah, annoying question. In criminal justice, punishment should be nope, absolutely not. Rehabilitation is crucial, but I think that there is a line maybe that punishment should be more important, but I think that it drags. It's very very high, so it wouldn't count for most people. It's a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I think it's never a waste of time, but I think that sometimes it can be unsuccessful, for sure. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. No, get out of here with the business people. Mothers may have careers, but the first is to be homemakers. No, I am not a crazy social conservative idiot. multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. I mean, yes, they're exploiting everything, so that would count for that as well. Making peace with the establishment is an important part of a maturity. No, absolutely not. I think I'm quite mature myself, and I wouldn't. I'm not hating on the establishment. I'm not very revolutionary, but I definitely believe that we need socialism, and I think that making peace and becoming a social democrat would be a net harm for any young person. If you got through that okay, you'll find these propositions on religion a breeze. Well, religion for me is a very, very tough topic because I am one of the people who say, I don't know. But let's take a look at this. Astrology is one of the most annoying. It's like a cult thing. I hate astrology way more than I hate religion. I'm quite neutral on religion, but I do not believe astrology can be scientifically proven is false, and therefore it's a no-go. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the... No, absolutely not, because charity, you have to rely on individuals to, well, do the charity, right? And that usually doesn't work as well as social security. Some people are naturally unlucky. No, I do not believe that. It's important. No, I think that there should be religious freedom, and therefore religious values imposed on people is not religious freedom. Finally, I take a look at sex. Oh shit. Here we got the real social issues, I think. Sex outside marriage is usually moral. No, let people do what they want. A same-sex couple in a stable, yeah, they should definitely not be excluded from child adoption. I believe that would be wrong because I think that a same-sex couple can be just as good parents as any other couple. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Yeah, um, I'm not one of those people who hate that. People let people do what they want. Again, let people do what they want. What goes in a private bedroom is not between consenting adults is no business of the state. Yeah, if they're consenting, but that's I guess the part where like, well, maybe they're quote unquote consenting, but not really consenting. It can be tough to explain. No one can feel naturally homosexual. What? Yes, they can. Some people are born that way, or some people grow up that way, or I'm not gonna say I know why people are homosexual, but I accept people being homosexual, and that's fine, even though I am straight. That's totally fine. People can be homosexual. Totally okay. These days of openness about sex has gone too far. No, I think we should be open and we should talk about these things. It's very important. Although I don't necessarily think that we should go around naked on the street, but I don't think that's what this implies. Okay, let's see, guys. Did I do it? And I am. Did I do it, guys? What do you think? Yes, I actually did it. I am in the libertarian market socialism. Wow, guys. Turns out that I am a true libertarian market socialist. Try that yourself if you can land on your exact ideology that best describes you, or maybe try it just to find out what ideology you are. But that was my political compass test, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will likely be coming out with a new video tomorrow. And I'm also, quick statement about the Brazilians. As far as I know, I think things are fine, but there also seems to be some military, the military might be intervening, so I'm hoping that you who are Brazilian stay safe and stay strong. Bye, lefty comrades all over the world. We will see you in the next one.